boom, boom, chickadee, 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 chenka. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another daily transfer afternoon show for you. I hope you're all doing well. Shout out to each and every one of you for getting in here and stopping by. Apologies, I'm late again, by the way. I've been having all sorts of bare green screen issues, lads and lasses, so the kids would say. So, yeah, bare green screen issues, guys. So, if I disappear in this one, sorry about that. Let me know if I do. I'll try and fix it. Huna, I'm here, my friend. Neil Duffin, how are you, matey? Good afternoon. Agrippa Chinhara, he says, Pig is finalising the Tellez deal. If only I could, Agrippa. Clifford Day, Sarvulon, Kayam, Liman Isa, how you doing? Griffo Chaz, Shriram Sainal, Sarvulon. There's loads of the legends in here, so thank you very much to everybody for getting in here and stopping by. Do us a favour, smash that thumbs up button and get involved with the Bacano Brigadiers in the live chat. Okay then, so Manchester United latest daily news. We've got a lot of little tidbits and information to get through today. There's a whole bunch of stuff, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit because we've got a heck of a lot of information to get through. Now, it's not all amazing information. It's not all exactly brilliant in terms of transfer dealings and this kind of thing. Ellie, how you doing there? Charles Smith, Adebayo Fawaz, Sadrizio Romano, Bantillo, John O'Denton. But there is some other transfer news and stuff that's going on as well with Manchester United, which we'll talk about. So then, let's get into it, guys. So the biggest thing is really, it's been reported that there's been some really good progress in the Alex Tellez deal. Agent Pini Zahavi is mediating between the two clubs. So Manchester United are now, deep in negotiation with FC Porto for the potential signing of Alex Tellez from there, which would be absolutely fantastic. Alex says, did you watch Evra's IG post? I did indeed, mate. We'll absolutely be getting into that one as well. Thank you very much for getting in here with your super chat, Alex. Great to see you. Mikey Smith, Eliam Gonzalez as well. Thank you, Alex. Josiah Welling. Yes, there's been concrete progress for Alex Tellez to Manchester United in the recent hours. Like I say, agent Pini Zahavi is mediating between the two clubs. Basically, Tellez could be signing pretty soon. This is what we're hoping, at least anyway. Hopefully in the next few days, hopefully in the next sort of week, certainly before the Brighton game would be absolutely brilliant to get him in through the door. So that's what we're hoping for anyway. It doesn't seem like anybody else is interested in bringing him in at the moment. There was rumblings that he was offered also to PSG, and maybe PSG would be interested in bringing Alex Tellez in, but their manager basically ruled that out a few days ago. And as we understand it at this moment in time, basically, the path is clear for Manchester United to go and get the deal done. It's a deal that makes a lot of sense. In fact, in terms of what we're offering him, I think it's somewhere around 70,000, 80,000 a week, somewhere around there. It's currently being reported that Man United have offered Alex Tellez €4 million a season. So €4 million a season, which is actually quadruple what he earns at Porto at the moment. So obviously it's a great move for Alex Tellez. It's still a cheap move for Manchester United as well, because Tellez just isn't on that much money at Porto. And he is a good player, so him coming here to the Premier League where there's so much money in the league, he's just going to obviously get a big payday now. So he's definitely going to want to come to United anyway. I'm not saying he's coming for the money, but that is a factor, and United definitely can offer him a really great opportunity and a platform to play in. So I think it's all positive stuff, guys, in terms of the Alex Tellez deal. But hold your horses again, because like I said, this is our negotiation team we're talking about here. This is Eddie Wood and Matty Judge and all these tits. Like, we don't really have like a good negotiation team at Manchester United. So hopefully we can get the deal done. Hopefully we can get the player in the next sort of week. That's got to happen. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think Alex Tellez is a red. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think Alex Tellez is a red. It's a bit preemptive, but I can't really see anybody else swooping in at this stage and stealing him from us. But let's not tempt fate there. Let's not tempt fate. Vincent Bullock says that's 30k a week. That sounds really, really low, doesn't it? It can't be 30k a week. I mean, this is what's being reported, 4 million a season. Maybe there'll be significant add-ons and things like that, but that's quadruple what he earns at Porto at the moment, apparently. But from what I understood, United, I saw some report the other day suggesting that Tellez wanted somewhere around 80,000 to stay at Porto, and they were just not willing to pay anywhere near that. So, I mean, if that works out at that, I haven't done the maths, mate, but this is just a report here saying that €4 million a season, nearly quadruple what he earns. So, it's whatever it is, it will be a big upgrade from Porto, and for Manchester United to obviously get him in, that's just going to have to be how it is. We're going to have to pay him reasonably well, but compared to some of the shit players we've got at this football club, like bloody Jesse Stinghard and Jesse bloody what's his face? Not even Jesse, but another tit at the back there, Victor Dwindleoff. And, you know, we've got these hangers on big money. Phil Jones, No Bones Jones, bloody, you know, Rojo and these guys. Like, just come on. Obviously, we should be able to get these guys in. Lots of ones coming in the live chat there. Charlie MUFC says £70,000 a week. Eliam says no, 70k a week. There you go then. So, fake news. Fake news it was a minute ago, but no. Actually, yeah, 4 million in a season. So that's 70k a week, is it? Well, that sounds about right. I mean, I haven't done the maths, guys. Maybe I should have done. Maybe I should have got Rachel Riley on the case. Helping me out. Price MUFC says, I think we'll end up with Douglas Costa. That would be shit, my friend. I'd take him rather than nobody, though. But he's not really a good signing for right now or the future. I think, personally, we should be looking at, if we can't get him, there's David Neres, there's Coman, there's Dembele, there's, you know, Adama, there's who else is there? There's Sarr, Ismail Sarr. I think we should be looking around these sorts of players, to be honest, rather than a 30-year-old Douglas Costa. I think Wolves are interested in signing Douglas Costa now as well. That's the only issue. There's over 100 of you in here already. Shout out to you all for joining me today. It's a beaut day down here on the south coast. I don't know where you guys are, but it is absolutely freaking beautiful here. It's like a proper hot summer's day. So enjoy your days, lads and lasses, and thank you for stopping by in this show today to talk transfers, to talk Manchester United news. We've got a lot of news to get through today, actually. Do us a favour if you're just watching and smash that like button. Give it a cheeky little feather, because that will help this stream out massively. Thank you very much, guys. Sadrizio Romano says, what if Man United end up with a year loan deal? Who do you mean for Telles? I mean, look, I don't think United are going to do anything like that because we just generally don't do loan deals. We have done a couple in the past, but I think that Reguilon situation just goes to highlight that that's not what we're trying to do at all. So, concrete progress here for Alex Telles to MUFC in the recent hours. Agent Penny Zavavi is mediating between the two clubs. Come on then, let's get this lad in. We need to get some reinforcements for Solskjaer. Our team performance the other day was absolutely shite. There's no way we can put up with that again, so we need to get some reinforcements in. Telles won't be enough either. Sancho won't be enough either. We need to get some top quality players in. We need to get a centre back in. We'll get into all of that shortly. There's a little bit more information on that too. But, yes, Jamie Jackson has come out and reported, he's Manchester United correspondent for The Guardian anyway, that Alex Telles hopeful that Manchester United, that the deal will be done this week, is the understanding. So Alex Telles' hopeful deal to move to Man United will occur this week. He wants to come. It's understood he's desperate to come and play for Manchester United. Really, he's been professional. He's not said anything, unprofessional at Porto in terms of wanting to leave or anything like that, but he's keeping his cards close to his chest. But he definitely, it's the understanding that he wants to come and join Manchester United, so that's brilliant. Loving it. Would love to get Alex Telles at the club. So there you go. Doesn't mean jack shit there, but so what do you guys think about it then? What do you think about Telles? Do you think that's just done and dusted? I saw most of your votes. Actually, let's go back up because I did. Yeah, they're all putting ones in the live chat, so I think every single one of you thinks really that this Telles deal should be done and dusted. It should be done and dusted because we need him. He's a good player. He's cheap. He's on cheap money. It makes sense all round. But there's still time for our board and our human potatoes up there to mess it up. So just calm down a little bit, guys. Let's wait until he's there. Stood with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hold on this shirt. Also, I want to just talk about this new bit of information, which is Manchester United have an interest in Daya Upamecano, but what we're doing at the moment, it's understood that we need to sell players first. We need to offload players first, such as Jones and Rojo, these guys. And Lindelof even maybe. Let's be honest now. I mean, the fact of the matter is we've got so many defenders there. None of them are really up to the standard. We've got a couple of good young lads. But certainly people like Jones, Rojo, Smaldong, Lindelof, Bailly even, you could even argue and put into that conversation, but certainly don't think that he needs selling. But you can argue that we've got a lot of defenders which are just not quite up to the standard for United right now. And definitely not really doing us any favours in terms of being there. Yeah, we got the depth in that position, but it's kind of like shit depth. You know what I mean? It's like going into the deep end of the swimming pool at your local swimming baths and there being a big floater in there. It's shit depth. That's what it is. It's not good. We don't need that sort of depth. We want quality depth, not shit depth. So Jones, Rojo, Smalling, these guys. Look, Smalling's not a bad player, don't get me wrong. There's some talk about even people wanting to see Smalling back in the side. That just goes to show you how shit the rest of the centre-backs are. Because we've tried and tested Chris Smalling for a long time. And he is a good defender, but he's just not a great defender. So we're going back to that, are we? That's not acceptable either. Get rid of the lot of them. Sell the lot of them. Clear the lot of them out. Send them off to bloody Oxfam if we have to. Let them leave if we have to. That's how strongly I feel about it. Because they're on big money. Can't you just terminate? How much? Oh, you have to pay a shitload of money to terminate a contract, though. But realistically, that's what we should be freaking looking at doing with some of these hangers-on. Because that's what they are. They're like Klingons. And they're just clinging on to us right now, and we need to get rid of them. So I definitely think that it would really benefit us if we did sell a lot of these players, and then we'd be able to sign some centre-backs. Because that's probably what's holding this board back. That's probably what's holding the potato back. He's aware that if we go out there and sign another centre-back, a top quality centre-back or something like that, then we're just going to have another centre-back. We've got a lot of centre-backs and they're all gash. So, crikey, we just spent £80 million on an absolute slabbergash centre-back, to be perfectly honest with you, in Harry Maguire. No disrespect, I think he's going to be okay for us, but God almighty, he's a far cry from a Rio Ferdinand or some shit like that. Bloody hell. Maybe Rio Turd in hand, but not Rio Ferdinand. He's garbage. I really, maybe that's harsh, but he's just, again, did you see how slow he was the other day? Costing us goals as well. I know Lindelof the main culprit, but Maguire he's just not quite good enough. Maybe if he had that partner. Maybe if he had that new partner. I mean, let's have a vote on that, lads and lasses. If you think Maguire is good enough and he just needs a new partner, smash the 1 in the live chat. If you think Harry Maguire's maybe just not quite up to the standard himself, smash a 2 in the live chat. It's a little bit of a bold vote there. I know we need to stick by our players, but bloody half, been watching him over the last year. He's nowhere near an £80 million player. Look, 40, 50 million, okay, I can understand it, but £80 million, you'd expect to be getting some sort of an absolute Rolls Royce of a defender there. Marco says 2. Jonathan Gallagher says 1, 1, 1, 2. James Wright, 1. Amy Evans, anti-Perston. Abadar Fawez 2. Neil Duffin 2. Anti-1. It's a little bit split. I think most people think he is good enough if you would give him the opportunity to have a good partner with him. And I think it's fair. You have to have balance. And if you've got two players who are too similar in terms of they're both slow, then it's going to be an issue. Whereas if you did put somebody next to him who's a bit quicker, then you could perhaps see the best out of Harry Maguire and somebody who had that understanding and could build up that understanding with him. Talks of Chris Smalling being brought back into the team. Let me just find the information here because there is some speculation that Chris Smalling might be making his way back into the Manchester United fold soon. Here we go. So this is from David Ornstein. He said Chris Smalling could be reintegrated into the Manchester United squad if a satisfactory bid fails to arrive this summer. United want £20 million, which I think is preposterous, really. I think that's a fair bit of money for Chris Smalling at 31, for considering he's sort of like a B-team player and he's been playing over at Roma and Roma want him back. I would settle for a lot less than that, to be fair, 13 or 14 million. He's a decent player. But the fact of the matter is, if we go back to Chris Smalling, what does that really say? What does that really say? We've just absolutely meandered for the last 5 years and spent a shit ton of money and tried out a shit ton of centre-backs and given Lindelof all those games and given Maguire all those games and given all these players all those games just to go back to bloody Chris Smalling. What are you going to tell me next then? Phil Jones? Phil Jones getting there? Hey, we're bringing back the team, lads. We're bringing back the old team, lads. Chris Smalling, Phil Jones at the back? Nah, mate. So I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all because I just think, yeah, he's a good player, but he's not a great player. He's not a good enough player to be starting in Manchester United starting 11. That's why he was loaned out to Roma. That's why he's had a crap for a couple of seasons before going to Roma. I personally don't think we should be going back and putting Chris Smalling in the team. I think we should be signing somebody new, a fresh approach, get rid of the dead wood. And he's actually not one of the worst defenders or one of the worst offenders in this case of being deadwood, but he's certainly not a class quality United player like a Rio or a Vidic, which United should bloody have. So why persevere with an old guy too? He is quicker than Lindelof. I prefer him to Lindelof. I like him better than Lindelof. How shit is that the last year we've been persevering with this Swedish centre-back Lindelof when we could have been playing Chris Smalling and it would probably benefited us even more. It would have probably had that better balance with Harry Maguire. So that's the sad piece of information, really, that we stuck with that twat Lindelof for so long. But we definitely need to get rid of him now. We definitely have to get somebody else in, not Chris Smalling. I'm not feeling that. I don't like the idea of that. That's a backward step for me. That's a real backward step. I don't like that. I want to see him sold to generate cash to get new players in. What do you guys think? I mean, let's have a vote. Let me know if you would like to see Chris Smalling reintegrated into the MUFC squad if a satisfactory bid failed to arrive. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you would like Chris Smalling back in the team. I have, Nick M. Yes, we're going to get onto that very, very shortly, my friend. It's absolutely spot on. I agree about whatever is said. By the way, if you're just tuning in right now, there's over 200 of you. Please do smash that thumbs up button. Give this video a like if you can. That will help out loads. Appreciate it, guys. Alex Duncan says, Smalling, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Telles back 4. Adebayo Fawa says 1. There's a few ones coming in here, you know, guys. So a lot of you would actually rather have Chris Smalling on the team, but I think most people are voting 2. Craven Moorhead says if it's Smalling or Lindelof, then Smalling wins every time. That's true, mate. 100%. Smalling going up against Lindelof. I would choose Smalling in the team over Victor Lindelof 100% every day of the week. He's quicker. He would be a better foil, a better partner for Harry Maguire. Epic Gamer thinks 2. Griffo Chas has so many votes, it's like the bloody X Factor. Marco says it can't get worse. Trust me, it can. It can. Jimmy Pavlovich, how you doing, buddy? Lynette Giggs says 1. Chris Smalling could be the man. Look, the thing is with Chris Smalling is I do think he's better than Lindelof in that sense, in terms of being with Maguire in that back line. I think that would make more sense. But it's too much of a backwards negative step for United. We just loaned him out to Roma for Pete's sake. We can't have him coming back and slotting right back into the team. What does that say about us? It just goes to show you that we're ill-prepared to spend. That's all it is. It just goes to highlight further the investment or lack of the Glazers and Woodward and co. The fact that they're unable to get these top quality players in, or even a good quality centre-back in, somebody to help out in this window. Their movement in this window has been pitiful, and this just goes to further highlight that. If we end up with Chris Smalling for the rest of the season, then what a pitiful series of events it would really be. Mr. YOLO Man, how you doing? He says, just tuned in. Are we optimistic about transfers? No. I'm optimistic about Telles. I think that's definitely going to happen in a few days. Talks seem to be progressing well. We've now got mediation happening between the two clubs. So we are negotiating with Porto for the potential sale of Alex Telles to Manchester United, so we're hoping that's going to be in the next few days. It'd be brilliant if we could get that wrapped up and get it announced early and get him over and get the medical done and get everything done. So maybe, you never know, he could possibly feature against Brighton. I doubt it, but you never know if we could get it done in the next few days, if that would be possible. He is in form, he is playing out there, he is fit, so that actually would really benefit us right now, because it seems like all of our bloody players are lacking that match sharpness and are not fit whatsoever. So I definitely think if Alex Telles came over with some match sharpness and confidence and vigour, he might actually really help us out immediately. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to happen in the next few days, I would think, unless somebody comes in and swoops in and takes him off of us, which I'm not ruling out, because United are very slow in our negotiations and we're unable to get business done quickly. And you can see how sometimes other teams can maybe come in and swoop in, and they are prepared to bend a bit more. They are prepared to get the deal done, and they get the deals done before us. So it's very frustrating. So hopefully it gets done. But yeah, Alex Telles, I'm hopeful with that one. And I'm hopeful that we're still going to go out there and sign a centre-back, somebody like Deo Upamecano or that kind of thing. Because any sort of centre-back that's really good quality, maybe on the younger side, that has a lot of potential, would really be brilliant for us right now. But they've obviously got to be good enough. You don't just want to sign a 19-year-old lad or a 21-year-old lad if they're not good enough. It has to be based on something. And if you look at Deo Upamecano's performances for Leipzig, you have to say that he is a bit of a beast, man. And he's quick, and we just could do with somebody like that next to Maguire. And he's only 21, so he's got a lot of potential there, a lot of time to get better and improve. And also just learn at Manchester United. Like, he's going to get better and have a really good future. You take a gamble. It doesn't always work out that way. Anything can happen. Injuries, off the field problems, anything can happen. But you would think, based on everything we've seen from Deo Upamecano up to this point, the fact he's 21 and impressing like he has done for Leipzig, I think it would be very foolish to think that he's not going to be a top player. I think he is going to be a top player, and we should nurture that player, get him in at the right time, like Solskjaer has done with a lot of these players of the right age, get him in early, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You've got a great player for the next decade. Same could be said for Deo Upamecano. There's a little bit of investment, but if he's going to be good enough, or could be good enough over the next 10 years, it's not an expensive deal to go and pay £50 million for a 21-year-old centre-back now. In this market, it's just not, so we should be looking to do that. I mean, the Sancho stuff, look, there's some more information about Sancho here, but look, we'll get on to that, actually. But it seems a source close to Man United's market activity has said that there has been a shift in our movement over the weekend, as United's preference had been to make a defensive signing next summer. So basically, we understand that maybe we've had a little bit of a change in the way that we're approaching this transfer window now, and we are looking at getting defensive signings in. So we were looking at improving certain key areas in this window. Well, it's understood our preferences or our wish list now has changed somewhat. I'm guessing based on the back of that absolutely piss-poor, shocking game that we had against Crystal Palace. So that's what it is. Of course, when you have a defensive display like that, and you have that IKEA melt, Victor Lindelof at the back, shipping goals left, right and centre, literally, giving him goals galore, then it only highlights the problems that you have. And then when you have Twanzebe injured, when you have Eric Bailly, who's just a bit of a reckless sort of crazy man out there, and then you've got, of course, Smalling, who actually is probably the pick of the bunch right now. Smalling's probably the pick of the bunch, and he's the one that we shipped out on loan last season because he was surplus to requirements. How ironic is that? Chris Smalling is the best of the bunch, and yet he's the bloody one that we shipped out last season because he was surplus. What does that say about United's backline? So we definitely need to get somebody in properly. I can understand the reluctance of wanting to sign another centre-back when you have Chris Smalling, when you have Phil Jones, when you have Eric Bailly, when you have Twanzebe, Mengi, Maguire, Rojo. You know, when you've got all these players, I can understand it. We've got loads of players in that area, but nobody good enough, really. So the idea is to try and ship as many of those out as possible, get them off of the books, save a bit on the wage structure, generate a bit of cash, and then go and get Upamecano. Why can't we go and do that? I think you give the opportunities for the future to Twanzebe, you give the opportunities to the future for Mengi. Those are your backups. So you've got, and Bailly, keep Mengi, and keep Twanzebe. Lindelof, sell him. Sell him. Get rid. He's no good. He's not up to it. We've seen that for years now. Don't even really want him as a backup. Okay, playing against Luton Town and shit like that, that's probably his level. That's probably the sort of games he should be playing in. But starting in Premier League games for United, Victor Lindelof can do one. He's nowhere near the capabilities of a United centre-back, so he's surplus to requirements as far as I'm concerned. Bye. Then you've got Chris Smalling. I'm sorry, I know what people are saying about him. He is the pick of the bunch right now. But he's got to go. He's got to go. He's part of the old school, part of the deadwood. We need a new generation. We need to be looking to the future, and he doesn't do it for us. He's a better option than what we've got at the moment, though, to be perfectly honest with you. Rojo, just no, it's not even a consideration. He's just never really done it good enough for us at centre-back especially. So see you later on, Marcus Rojo. Bye. Phil Jones, other than an international gurning competition, he doesn't bring anything to the table. See you later on, Phil Jones, no bones. Catch you later. So what does that leave? That leaves Bailly. It leaves us 5 defenders. It leaves Maguire, it leaves Bailly, it leaves Twanzebe, it leaves Mengi, and it leaves Upamecano if we buy him. Right? That sounds good. That sounds good for now and good for the future. Get rid of those players. Get new players in. If only it were that simple. The problem is our players are on so much money, they're absolutely insane. It doesn't make any sense for other football clubs to come and pay these guys the wages. But United, if we're hanging on for £20 million for Chris Smalling, when we could get him off the books for 13 or 14 million, we're having a nightmare then, aren't we? The only reason we're probably thinking about it and reconsidering it now is because he's actually our best defender, even though he was surplus last year. Do you get that? Do you get how that works? It's preposterous. Preposterous to think that that is actually the situation, that Chris Smalling is our best defender and he's just come back from a year-long loan at Roma. For Pete's sake. Mr. Silas 209, thank you very much for the DKK, dude. Really appreciate it. No comment to go with it, but massive shout out to you, Mr. Silas 209, bro. Thank you very, very much there, dude. Nice one, Mr. Silas. Chevalier Moi, how you doing, Chevalier? James Wright, line up against Luton for you, Pig. Look, I personally think that Manchester United are going to set up pretty with quite a few of the first team players in there. I think there will be a lot of changes. Dean Henderson's going to start. It's looking like we're getting to that in a bit as well. I think personally Williams left back. I think Mengi and Maguire at centre back. I think right back Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I'd start him, even, you know, it's Luton. I think midfield, go with something else. Go with Fred and Donny. Go with Fred and Donny. Sounds freaking good to me. And then actually I think we do need game times for key players. So I'm not just going to say, oh, play loads of our lesser players and play our B team against Luton. I think we need game times time. We haven't had the pre-season. We've got a game at the weekend against Brighton, but a lot of these players could do with 60 minutes. I'm talking Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is off the boil, so I think he should start. I know it's only against Luton, but just get the business done and get him off the pitch then. I think, personally, Rashford should start. He looked so out of it the other day. Like, just, he needs some match sharpness or conditioning or something. Like, he needs something, some confidence. So I'd actually start him. And you know what? Igalo up top makes sense, but I would actually start Marcio because he looked so out of it the other day, didn't get any service. If we want some confidence going into the new game, I want him to score some goals today as well, or tomorrow as well. So, yeah, but look, and then on the right, I don't know, Lingard. I'm thinking he's going to start Lingard. I do. James was shite the other day. Greenwood, I think he'll rest him a little bit. I don't know, but I think he's going to start Lingard. It's crazy. I don't really know, mate. We'll have to see what he does. There's so many different possibilities, but I definitely think he should go with Mengi and Maguire at the back. See what happens there. Jeanette Pugh says Mengi, Hannibal should feature, I hope. Yeah, we could see some other young lads feature in the game, to be fair. I'm just thinking that Solskjaer wants to try and avoid this sort of potential banana skinner slipping up on against a team that's not obviously that good in Luton. It's going to be a tough game with all things considered, how we did the other day as well, and the pressure that's on at the moment. So in a way, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm still thinking that Solskjaer's going to set them up reasonably strong. I think he wants a few of his first team players. So I've got hair on my lip or something. Wants a few of his first team players to get some game time now before we go into the Premier League. The way I look at it, the next few weeks are like important for United to try and keep winning, but also learn and progress and get that match sharpness. Like a game against Brighton is a game that United should be winning. A game against Newcastle is a game we should be winning. A game against Luton is a game we should be winning. So as long as we do win them and learn and get that sharpness and get that match fitness and get that conditioning back to a degree, and just get that fluidity back, because we're really missing that the other day. It was clueless. Then we should be all right going into those difficult October games when we got really big teams to come up against. If we're going to get any points from October after Newcastle and stuff, we need to be playing good football. We need to be playing well as a team, organisationally, defensively, but creatively and in every other aspect as well. We've got to get everything firing. And if we're not firing, we're going to be left behind pretty quickly. So we've got Luton, we've got Brighton, we've got Newcastle, all must-win games, but at the same time, they're all winnable games that we should win. Just need to make sure we win them, progress, develop the players in terms of the conditioning and the fitness, and prepare ourselves for October. Because we didn't have much of a pre-season, to be fair. CB comments, we might look like losing to Brighton away. I mean, Brighton looking good, aren't they? That's the problem. That is the problem. I want to read this quote out from Konstantin Ekner, and then we'll get onto a whole bunch of other stuff. So Konstantin Ekner is a writer for BBC, ESPN, The Times, etc. He's come out and said about 2 o'clock today, so just over an hour ago, he said, a move during this transfer window has become incredibly unlikely for Sancho. Borussia Dortmund remain adamant about keeping Sancho for one more season. The noise you hear in the media is coming from MUFC, some from Sancho's team, but the player is not protesting Borussia Dortmund's decision. So that actually sounds shit, doesn't it? By the way, what is a DKK, Mr. Silas? Where are you from, Mr. Silas? It's still on there, and I'm wondering, what is a DKK? Legend. Anyway, yeah, transfer windows become incredibly unlikely. Borussia Dortmund remain adamant about keeping Sancho for one more season. The noise you hear in the media is coming from MUFC. I know we have been doing this whole propaganda fest at United, drip feeding stuff out into the media. Absolutely true. Look, it doesn't mean that it's over and done with for Sancho. We personally think that Sancho will still happen. I just understand it that United are waiting until the last couple of days of the window, until Dortmund are either going to say yes or no with a cheap offer. So they're going to go in last minute with a £95 million offer or something like that and say, that's it, take it or leave it, last day of the window, do you want to sell Jadon Sancho to us? And if Dortmund turn around and say no, then they'll keep him, we'll lose out, we might have another target lined up which will sign on the last day of the season as well instead. Douglas Costa probably, or some other melt. But certainly we should be looking at somebody good like Zaha at least, or David Neres, or somebody like that. Those sorts of guys make sense. Kingsley Coman, another different option. We should absolutely have another option lined up at this stage. Ismail Assar, or somebody, just somebody. But that's what we're probably looking to do right now. I would imagine United are waiting it out. We're camping it out to the last part of the season, to the transfer window where we will try and get him for cheaper. And Dortmund may just turn around and say, no, look, like Chris Constantine-Eknes said, Borussia Dortmund remain adamant about keeping Sancho for one more season. So whether they sell him or not, either they sell him and generate a shit ton of money, or they don't sell him and they've got a great player for another season and then they sell him for a shit ton of money. So there's no real incentive for Dortmund to sell him other than a big ton of money, which United would have to compensate them for. So we'll see if that offer can be worked out. There's nothing really changed on that front apart from it's looking less likely that it will happen. It's looking less likely that it will happen only because of United perhaps having reassessed as to what our interests are in this transfer window. Because look, we all know now the centre-back issues are a real glaring issue. We all know now the defensive side of this team is probably the biggest problem. Never mind the creative aspects of the team. If all our players are fit up top and on form, we're a great attacking side. Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, just those players alone there, if they're all on form and fit, they're banging in the goals for sure. But they need a good foundation behind them to stop us losing games and to actually give them a foundation to play their good attacking football. So we have to get a centre-back in this window as far as I'm concerned now. United should have changed our transfer priorities, and I think that's what we have done. If you look at some of the news that's coming out today, there's another link with Deo Upamecano now. We're understood to be interested in him again now. It's just about United selling players and getting rid of all those excess numbers we've got at the back. Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Rojo, all those guys that are there on big money and doing nothing. You can't just add another quality centre-back to necessarily. So we've got to sell Smalling to Roma. We have to get a deal for Phil Jones out of the club. These are important aspects if we're going to get a new centre-back in there. So I can sort of understand the club not wanting to do it. But at the same time, we need him. We need somebody who's quality and good enough to do the business. There's 350 of you in here, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you're having a great Monday. Happy Monday to you all. Please do us a favour if you have not done so and smash the thumbs up button on this vid. Give it a cheeky little like if you can. Kayam, what's going on, matey? Nice one. Yeah, everyone liked the stream. Chevalier Noir, Ellie, Hijack, Sandricio Romano says Upamecano will not join. That's a bit of a stretch. Let's talk about not so good players. No, I think, why is that a stretch? I mean, he's a 21-year-old who plays for RB Leipzig. If United didn't buy Sancho and didn't spend all of our transfer budget on Sancho, we could easily get Deo Upamecano. He would definitely want to come to a club like United. United's a huge club. It's certainly a much bigger club than RB Leipzig. Now, I know RB Leipzig this last season in the Champions League and all that shite, so they were doing better than us. But now we're back in it, and we are a bigger club. I don't care what anybody says. We're a bigger freaking club than RB Leipzig. And we can offer him a great career and all the different aspects, challenging for things. So personally, I think Upamecano would come to Manchester United. I think he's exactly the player that we should be getting. There's talk of City going for Koulibaly, and yeah, that would have made a bit of sense. But personally, I think the younger player who has the real potential, the rapid player who's quick and he's strong and he's young and he can get better and progress, he makes a lot more sense for me. Jack Kick says, what's happening? I just got here. Hey, everyone. If you're just getting in here, smash the like. I'll give you a cheeky little update. So then, it's just really to do with Alex Tellez. The progress is taking place between the two football clubs now, so the negotiations are underway. Agent Pini Zahavi is mediating between the two clubs. So we have got basically a situation now where final negotiations are taking place between United and Tellez. We're hoping that the deal is going to be announced in the next few days. You would think it would be done soon with what's going on. So hopefully we do get Tellez in soon. There's just an update on Tellez. Upamecano, we're understood to have an interest in Upamecano, but we need to offload players first. Jones, Rojo, Smalling, these guys. There's also some talk to say that Chris Smalling may be part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans once again this season now, especially if a good enough offer from Roma does not come in for him. Simply because of the fact we're not spending the money on a centre-back, it seems like at this moment anyway. Our priorities may have changed, or they should have changed, but at this moment we still haven't got another centre-back. So Chris Smalling might be sticking around to be our centre-back this season, even though he was our surplus to requirements centre-back last year, and he is probably the best option we've got to partner Maguire. That's the sad reality. So we've got to get rid of a lot of these defenders before we can get new defenders in. So that's basically the update there. Deo Upamecano, you never know if it's going to happen. Probably not unless we get rid of some players, because we've got so many centre-backs there. We can't really add another centre-back to the team. Bailly, Rojo, Smalling, Jones, Maguire, Mengi, Twanzebe. I mean, the list goes on. Lindelof. We've got a shit ton of centre-backs. Realist AC, thank you for getting in here with your super chat. He comments, You all right, mate? Not too shabby, mate. How are you doing? Thoughts on Welbeck? In my opinion, he's such a good player, but injuries have dominated his talent. I liked Welbeck at United. I mean, I think he's gone on and done absolutely nothing since. I don't know if that's really his fault, if injuries are the concern or whatnot, or if he's just not been used correctly. But certainly when he was at United, he was a good utility player. Nothing more, really, but he still certainly scored a bunch of goals, played for England a bunch, had a good form in his career. And I thought he worked his socks off for United. I loved how hard he worked for United. And he was versatile. You could play him on the wings, you could play him up top. I quite liked him. He was just a good workhorse for the team. So yeah, I liked Danny Welbeck. I've always liked Danny Welbeck. I would not have sold Danny Welbeck at the time. Maybe hindsight, yeah, he's not a good enough player for United. But I wouldn't have sold him at the time. And I also wouldn't have sold Javier Hernandez. If you look at those two players compared to some of the players that are here now, such as Andreas Pereira, Jesse Lingard. I mean, crikey, we could have done a lot better having those players here, Welbeck and Hernandez, than these tits that are actually here, in my opinion. So thank you for your super chat there, dude. Much appreciated, guys. Nice one, Realist AC. Right, okay, let's get into the rest of the news, because there's a lot of news now, guys. Obviously, transfer news and some other news, but Gary Neville's come out basically and said he did an exclusive with Sky Sports here, completely ragging Manchester United, really. He just said it was negligent not having a squad in place. He said because of what happened in the last 8 years, people have lost their confidence and they have now tried to go the other way in terms of we can't now overpay. So they're not overpaying for players. They're just literally trying to get bargains in this ball. That's what Gary Neville's saying. He says you see Liverpool getting a player for 40 million in Diogo Jota and 25 million for Thiago, or 20 million, whatever it was. You see the other clubs do it. Werner is quite cheap compared to some of the prices of players you see in the market. And United always seem to have to pay top dollar, and the people at the club will not like that, almost as though they're easy pickings, and there is a suggestion of that. It's a fair point. I mean, if you look at players like Timo Werner going for what he went to Chelsea, and some of the other transfers, Thiago, 20 million, they're getting some bargain players, and United are paying 80 million pounds for a slab of bloody rock at the back there in Harry Maguire. So he's got a fair point, Gary, here. He often makes a lot of great points, to be fair. He's very passionate. He obviously loves United just about as much as anybody. And he can obviously see this as well. So he thinks it's an ego thing with our board at this stage. In this window, we don't want to overpay for a player because it's like a kick to the ego of Woodward and Co. and the board, because other teams are out there making good solid signings for cheap money. And United, if we go out there and pay 120 million for Sancho, we just look like the tits that go out there and have to overpay significantly for players, which is true. If we pay 120 million for Sancho, that is overpaying. He's not that valuation. That's just madness. To get our player, you might have to overpay, like we did with Harry Maguire. But it is overvalued. He is overvalued. He went on to say the problem is they have to find a way to get deals done, and they can't get deals done efficiently. And it is negligent not to get the squad in place. They have had 6 months since March, when lockdown was on, being able to deliberate, do Zoom calls, connect with agents, move things into place, which is absolutely spot on. Chelsea got Ziyech done in, was it May or sometime around there? June? They got it done very early. All in place. So he's spot on again. There's no excuse, really, for not getting your transfers done before the start of the season. They need 4 or 5 players. So to only get one done, I know Liverpool have only got theirs done in the last couple of days, but there is a feeling that they're in control. That's it. Liverpool, they were biding their time. They were waiting out. They were trying to get the right deal. In the end, they got the right deal. They didn't overpay. They got Thiago, a world-class 29-year-old midfielder, for 20 mil. So in the end, it was all worth it for them, and they got him in before games got really going anyway. And Jota's a good signing as well, personally. So, we are being left behind a little bit here. United have got the money. This is what he says. United have got the money. If they can spend 90 million to 100 million on Sancho, they have got the money to do the deals. They have not got the quality or experience of football people within that club. It looks like a convoluted and complex structure. I'm not quite sure where the decisions lie. And it's so true. There's so many different points of call that somebody has to make to get a transfer deal done. Solskjaer's got to go to the recruitment team. The recruitment team got to go to Woody. Woody's got to confer with all his bloody teams, Matt Judge and all these prats, all this right-hand man, all other puppets throughout the club. Then Woodward's got to go to the Kling Melts, which is, of course, the owners of our football club, the Glazers, and then they've got to prove. It's just a big firing line of shit at Manchester United, when what we really need is a proper director of football with the final say, and a big pot of money which he can allocate and spend on recruitment how he sees fit, like an Edwin van der Sar. That's the sort of thing we need. But we don't have that. Realist AC with another super chat. Thank you, Realist. He says, we can say Bailly's talent has been sketchy due to injuries, but he has proven his class. I would not get rid of him. I wouldn't get rid of Bailly either. I think defensively he's great. I think he's physical. I think he's quick. I think he's good in the air. I think he's good in the tackle. He's just a bit reckless. If he honed that, if he reined that in, he'd be a real good asset. I think he'd be a great player. Like when he first came into the football club, he was smacking a Vidic to me. I was thinking this lad could be the next Vidic. And I still think maybe he could, but he's got to stay fit. He's got to stay unsuspended. And he's got to stay, committed to the side and stay in line and not be too reckless. So he's a good option as well. Bailly and Maguire definitely over any other combination in the team for me right now. Makes a lot of sense. But even then, I'm not too convinced if we've got enough in them to do the business. But thank you very much for that, Realist AC. I wouldn't get rid of him either. I'd get rid of Rojo. I'd get rid of Jones. I would get rid of Smalling because he's part of the old hat that we had here. He's part of the old crap. I would get rid of Lindelof. Those are the players that I get rid of at centre-back. And I would keep Twantebe, I'd keep Mengi, I'd keep Maguire, I'd keep Bailly, and then I'd add Upamecano. That is what I would personally do in this transfer window. There's over 500 of you tuning in, guys. Thank you for watching. Let's see if we can smash 150 likes on the video then. So if you're tuning in right now and you have not smashed that thumbs up button, it will help us out tremendously, compete with the bigger channels, etc. if you do smash a like on it. So that's the best thing you can do to support the channel, lads and lasses. Shout out to all the Bacon Brigade, all the subscribers, all the United fans out there, and even fans of other football clubs, to be honest, if you're watching. Not all of them. So look, Liverpool are definite, they're precise. Look at Chelsea, they're definite and precise. Man City are, but Man United do not seem able to get their business done. And that, unfortunately, has been a massive problem, whether it's be the signing the wrong player. I think the recruitment has been better and more precise in the last 18 months. So that's what Gary Neville's got to say about United's activity in the window. It's pretty damning, quite damning as well to say that, and it's absolutely spot on. And he went on to say there's still an issue of not being able to get the players over the line quickly enough in the building with the squad to get the team ready for the start of the season, which we haven't done. And then you end up with that on Saturday, and with what, well, that does make them a weaker team, because now clubs who are there, they're wanting players off, will be looking at it and thinking, we will relax because they're going to come and knock on my door. They're going to have to go. So basically, he's just completely criticising the way that we're operating in this window, and it's absolutely spot on. We have had a complete nightmare in this window, the way the Glazers have gone about it, and not Glazers have gone about it, but the Glazers haven't spent the money yet. The fact that Woodward and Judge and these tits have gone about it. It's been a nightmare. I mean, you've got Patrice Evra coming out and on his Instagram doing a video and saying stuff like a sporting director from a top football club called me and asked me to tell Matthew Judge to answer his phone. What an embarrassment that is, lads and lasses. So basically, a sporting director from a top football club calls Patrice Evra to say, look, we can't get hold of these twats at Man United. Can you get him to freaking give me a call, please? A top sporting director at a top football club. Are you taking the piss? So we can't even get hold of these guys. What are they doing? I told you they're just fingering pies. And they're sat in the office fingering bloody pies that they're going to feed to Luke Shaw more likely than not. So personally, I think it's a joke. I think this club, the way it's operated, is a freaking absolute joke at the top. Everybody can see it. Ex-players, fans, everybody can see it. Pundits, everyone's ripping us apart. Our board is a laughing stock, really. The way we run this club, the way we go about transfers, the way we negotiate. Considering we should be, after Alex Ferguson, the most powerful negotiation team in the bloody land. When you look at what Fergie did, winning all those titles all those years, the legacy that he left in this football club, this should be the most powerful transfer negotiation side in the world. Simple as that. It's massive football club. We've won everything. Everything's there. Problem is, since Fergie left, since the Glazers came in, we haven't upgraded the facilities. The stadium's fallen to bits. We haven't invested in the squad properly. And when we have invested, we've invested shitely. When we have invested, we've not invested well. We've been left behind by other teams who have invested well, who have spent that money well. We spent it on freaking absolute wankers like Alexis Sanchez, on huge money, sucking the life out of this club. So the board, when they have spent money, they spent it poorly. Gary Neville's right. The last 18 months, they've tried to do it a bit better, and it has been a bit better. But over the course of those years, they have let this football club down massively. Over these years, they have just ran it into the ground. And this is more evidence of it now. Evra, to quote Evra, a sporting director from a top football club called me and asked me to tell Matthew Judge to answer his phone. I mean, that is bloody disgraceful, lads and lasses. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think that's an absolute bloody disgrace, man. You know, I just don't get it. What are these guys doing? Are they just sitting on a yacht somewhere? What are they doing? Are they sitting on a yacht with bloody Ed Woodward, Matty Judge sitting around like on the bloody Wolf of Wall Street or something? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? It makes no sense that they can't get players in sooner in this window than what they have done. Look at all these ones coming in. It is an absolute disgrace. Matt Rush, thank you very much for getting in here. Great to see you, Matt Rush Meister. Thank you so much for stopping by. Do us a favour, lads and lasses. Smash the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. Get your thoughts and opinions in and share in the absolute bloody hatred of this current regime at Manchester United, because it is a joke, man. It is an absolute abomination of a run club. I mean, look, you've got this Matt Judge twat. He's basically the right-hand man for Eddie Woody Woodward. So Patrice Evra has exposed him for being completely useless, basically. He's just off the job. You know what I mean? You know, like when, I don't know, you just, let's say somebody used to work in a call centre or whatever, and you put the phone on mute and pretend like you're talking. That's sort of what these dickheads are doing. They're not answering the phones. They're not getting the business done. They're not getting any transfers wrapped up for Manchester United. They're just sitting around twiddling their thumbs and doing piss all. So look, he's assisted by John Murtaugh as well, United's head of football development, and previously he held the position of head of elite performance at the Premier League, right? Matt Judge is heavily involved with United's recruitment, with the club's global network of 52 scouts headed up by Marcel Boot and Mick Court. I'm not sure how old this article is, or if this is legit, or if this is even necessarily true in terms of that part. But yeah, I mean, look, we have got a nightmare situation at the club. I mean, look, do you know who this guy is? So, ex-executive vice chairman, and basically we're talking about who this guy is. Who is this twat? Do you know who this guy is? Hey, how's it going, Viking? Hey, Gungshi. How you doing, mate? He says, sorry I'm late. I just got back home. Great to see you in here, Gungshi. Thank you for stopping by. Faith, my Hambo as well. Great to see you. Viking Red, Jimmy Pavlovic, Ellie, Marco. Thank you, guys. On his page, on his LinkedIn page, this is how Matt Judge describes himself. The quotes from the biography on Judge's LinkedIn page. Yeah, of course it is. Managing Manchester United's equity and debt capital structure. 3 equity offerings, including the IPO, totaling over $450 million. And 3 debt refinancings, $1 billion. Debt private placement, term loan, and RCF. Also, player negotiations, brackets, transfers, and playing contracts. You're a tit then, aren't you? So he's another bloody banker. He's another bloody financial man. He's somebody who's not a football man. In terms of the hierarchy at United, he's just another Ed Woodward. In fact, you know what? They went to the same college. Guys. Ed Woodward and Matty Judge, they went to the same college. So yeah, Munib Siddiqui says Matt Judge is a prat. What does he do, this guy? Because he's supposed to be... I mean, how can you even put that straight-faced on your LinkedIn? Managing United's equity and debt capital structure. Pff, you're doing a shit job of that, then. 3 equity offerings, including the IPO, totaling over $450 million. Well, that doesn't help us out, does it? You dick. And 3 debt refinancings. So 3 fucking remortgages, basically. And you're putting that in your LinkedIn profile. Like, that's good stuff. You're a twat. And then he says, debt, private placement, term loan, and RCF. Also, player negotiations, transfers, and playing contracts. So if you actually look at our team of negotiators here, we've got this twat, we've got Eddie Woody Woodward, who they're both just bankers. They're not football men. So they don't have all the inner dealings. They don't have the relationships. They don't have the connections. No, they might do with bloody Johnny Barclays at Barclays Bank or some twat. But they don't have connections to football men, in my opinion. Edwin van der Sar, he's a football man. You know, we don't have people like that in this club. Sir Alex Ferguson, he's a football man. But these dickheads, they're not football men. They don't get how it works. They don't understand the necessity for United to get players in to help the team out right now or even before the season started. They just care about the bottom line, the finances, the deal. Is it a bargain? Is it an asset? That's all they really care about. That's why we only signed Donny this window, because that's the only one that's a complete no-risk signing out of everybody so far. So yeah, just wanted to give you an update on what is actually going on and why. So this is what Jose Mourinho had to say about Matt Judge, just so you know. Gideon MJ says there's 600 people tuning in live. That is awesome, lads and lasses. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button, click the bell icon to be notified when we go live. We cover all Manchester United news passionately as well, my friends. I am confident we're going to smash Luton up, Alex. It's Luton at the end of the day. It's a potential banana skin, I feel you. But I think we're going to smash them up, to be honest with you, Alex. Nice one, guys. Thank you so much to everybody that's stopping by and getting in here. Do smash that like on the video as well, lads and lasses. That will help us out tremendously. So then, this is what Jose Mourinho had to say about Matt Judge. He says, I know my people is doing everything they can. The owners with the green light, Mr. Woodward working hard with Matt Judge, and everybody is giving everything they can. And I think they are going to be successful. That is a quote. That is a quote from Mourinho, sorry, before he got sacked, I think. So, in terms of the window last summer, that's before he threw his toys out the pram. So that doesn't look good, does it? You know, that doesn't look good when Mourinho's coming out and saying something like that. The owners with the green light, Mr. Woodward working hard with Matt Judge, and everybody's giving everything they can. Shocking. I mean, look, to be fair, if you look at let's just go through the deals that Matt Judge has overseen. I want to just go through the deals that Matt Judge has overseen at Manchester United here quickly. Eric Bailly, 30 million from Villarreal in June 2016. You know, could be worse, could be worse. It's not the biggest risk. He's still here. He still could be good for Manchester United 4 years later. Feels mad that Bailly's been at this football club for 4 years, though, because he just hasn't really done anything in that time, to be honest. We keep saying he's going to be good, but he's just never in the side consistently enough to really do anything. So, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, free from Paris Saint-Germain, July 2016. I'd say that's a pretty good signing. In hindsight, that's a pretty good signing, that one. Zlatan, probably the best signing we've made for years, in fact. Henrik Mkhitaryan, 26 million from Borussia Dortmund, July 2016. Not a lot of money. Recouped a lot of that, really. I can't remember what he went to Arsenal for, or if much at all. But, you know, that wasn't a big risk. He could have been good. He just was shit in the end. But in the end, a bad signing. Paul Pogba, £89 million from Juventus. Big money deal. On paper, a good signing. In reality, a bang average signing, to be perfectly honest. The last 5 years he's been at the club, he's had 5 good games. Something like that. He's been pretty consistently bang average. To me, I just don't rate him. Sorry, guys, there's a lot of Pogba fans out there. To me, he's a stinker. To me, he's just probably never going to do the business for United consistently enough. He's too hit or miss. Sorry, I like him, but no. Paul Pogba, that's a shit signing in my opinion. It is, in hindsight, it's a shit signing. Okay, it's an asset. He's actually probably still valued around about somewhere near there. Maybe not, but if somebody was to come and buy him, you'd still probably get 70 mil back because of his age, because of his qualities, because he's a World Cup winner, because of his profile, his commercialism. So Pogba's worth still a good amount of money. Victor Lindelof, £30 million from Benfica, July 2017. £30 million for Victor Shitalov. Bloody hell. That's money spent like absolutely gashly then, isn't it? You might as well throw that one down the toilet, to be honest. Victor Lindelof, £30 million. He is garbage. He is garbage. So that's a shit signing. Romelu Lukaku, 75 million from Everton, July 2017. What a shit signing that was, really. Didn't really fit the club, not the sort of right style player for us. Jose's melted, everyone's melted, we spent the money, and we got most of it back, luckily, when we sold him to Inter, but still a shit signing. Nemanja Matic, 40 million from Chelsea. I didn't realise we paid 40 million from Chelsea. That's mad. Either way, he's turned out to be mostly okay. This last 6 months, but over his career at United, pretty lacklustre, really. Had good spells here and there. Alexis Sanchez, swap deal with Arsenal involving Mkhitaryan. Oh, that's right there. I remember now. There was a swap deal with Mkhitaryan and Arsenal and all that sort of stuff. Alexis Sanchez, swap deal. That turned out to be absolutely gashtastic. If you actually thought that and it's not just for the transfer deal or the initial, the fact we've swapped, that's good, whatever. But it's actually the amount of money that is involved here, the amount of money that we spent, and the fact we just totally disregarded our wage structure and paid him $500 a week to do nothing, and he turned out to be shit. So that's the worst signing of the lot. That's an absolute shit signing. And then the only other transfers that he's overseen, right? These are the only other 3 transfers that he's overseen. Diogo Dalot, 17.4 million from Porto, July 2019. Sorry, there's a few more. What I'm on about this last season. Fred for 52 million from Porto. I think Dalot's a shit signing, really. He's just, he could still be all right. But Fred, 52 million pounds from Porto. 52 million pounds for Fred. That is shit money spent on a good player, but not 52 million pound player, I don't think. Lee Grant. 1.5 million from Stoke. If that isn't 1.5 million completely thrown down the shitter, I don't know what is. Last season, Daniel James, 17 million. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 50 mil from Crystal Palace. That's the best signing of the bunch by a mile. And then Harry Maguire, 80 million pounds from Leicester City. 80 million pounds. So if you actually look at the signings that we've made whilst this twat has overseen the signings of this football club, along with Eddie Woodward and the negotiation process, they've overpaid more often than not for crappy players, guys. So it's a big shame. They have, of course, got some good players along the way. There's that old saying, if you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it will stick. And I think that is what's happened here. Eventually, Woodward and Matt Judge, they just sit around in their office when they're not fingering pies. They throw shit at the wall at different pictures of players until one of them sticks, and then they decide to go and sign that player. Gungshi, thank you so much for the PayPal, Gungers. You're a top lad. Really appreciate this, dude. He says, hey, Pig, I missed your shows yesterday. Had a bad couple of days with pain. Oh, he says, thanks so much for the surprise gift you sent me. I will wear it with pride as soon as I can fit into it. Oh, no, Gungshi, it doesn't fit. What do you mean? Oh, no. Are you joking me? What? I should have potentially asked you what size. I thought I got a big enough one. Oh, no. Gungshi. Anyway, Gungshi, thank you so much for getting over here with the PayPal, dude. I've had a mare there. I sort of just looked at your picture and thought, I'll guess your size. Should never guess somebody's size, eh? But everyone, yes, thank you, Ellie. Please do put a love heart emoji in the live chat for Gungshi, who's not been feeling very well lately. He's under a bit of pain, so everybody give him a little cheer up by sticking a love heart emoji in the live chat. I'm good, Paul van der Beek. How are you doing, mate? Savulon says Fred was from Shakhtar. Yeah, he was, weren't he? This article's freaking wrong. This article's wrong. It said Porto. You're right, though. We did get him from Shakhtar Donetsk. So I don't really know. Was he not part owned by Porto or something? And maybe that's why it says that. But yeah, that's just a typo. That's just a mistake. Anyway, nice one, guys. Okay, so we've got a bunch more stuff to get into. Gungshi says, it's okay, Pig. Wait. It's okay, Pig. I'll be fine once I've lost a few kilos. Ah, no, Gungshi. I've had a nightmare there, bro. I'm sorry, man. I just looked at you. I thought, there's no way you're bigger than that. But I've had a mare. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's a shit gift then, isn't it? That is a shit gift. What did I send you? Basically, a tea towel. You're going to use that as a tea towel now, Gungshi. I'm sorry, mate. He says I'm used to be sleek and svelte, and now I'm like Pig. That's a bit of a backhanded. That's a bit backhanded there, Gungers. Nice one, Michael McDonough. Yeah, you know it, sunshine. Had a little shave. ZZ says 80 million for Maguire. Let that sink in. Ollie out. No, it's nothing to do with Ollie, though, really. He would say, go and get me this player, and then it's on the negotiation team to decide how much they're going to pay for that player. So, you can say what you want about that, but I don't think Ollie's really the man to blame there. He wanted his man, and on the face of it, at the time, Maguire seemed like a no-brainer great signing. And he says it's the thought that counts, Pig. I mean, it is, but I'm really disappointed with that now. I didn't realise that it wouldn't fit. I'm sorry, Gungshi. He says it's no problem, Pig. Honestly, I've got loads of things I can't wear until I get back to my normal way. Oh, okay, Gungshi. Well, yeah, I've had a nightmare there, though. I should have consulted you, but I kind of wanted it to be a surprise. But now it's a shit surprise, so I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, nice one. Okay, so let's get back into the news then, folks. Sorry, we've got a little bit derailed here. But Dean Henderson has been informed that he will start in Tuesday night's League Cup third round match at Luton Town. That's some of the latest news in regards to Dean Henderson and the League Cup game we've got coming up against tomorrow. We all thought that would be the case anyway. Dean Henderson is going to be the man who sort of plays for United in those secondary games this season when De Gea needs a little rest or just give him those game times. So he's going to play those lesser Champions League fixtures. He's going to play those League Cup fixtures and stuff like that. I think Dean Henderson will get a good amount of games this season. It will be similar to sort of Sergio Romero under Mourinho when he was playing him a lot in all the Europa and all the League Cup games and stuff like that. I definitely think Dean Henderson's here on 120k a week to challenge De Gea, but at this moment in time, De Gea is still the number one, and Dean Henderson's going to have to play these other games and get that experience and try and force his way into the team. No worries there, Gungshi, mate. Oh, man. That is a shame. That is a shame, though. I've had mares. Anyway, so basically, yes, I would like to say that Dean Henderson is going to potentially go on and take over David De Gea at some point in the future, and this is all part of that growing process. Sergio Romero probably will be moving on pretty soon. So what do you guys think about who should start for Luton in goal? It's got to be Dean Henderson, really, doesn't it? Alex says, David De Gea has been there for us. We need to be there for him and support him. I agree, man. I think he's still a good keeper. He still had a good game the other day when he played for us against Crystal Palace. It's not his fault the rest of the team was absolutely shite around him. He still had a decent game, and that was good to see. He was good for Spain on the international break. I didn't watch the game, but I saw some highlights, and he did look like he did very well, and I understand Luis Enrique was very happy with him. So those are good signs that he's still got it. He just needs to get that form back and cut those silly errors out. If he does that, he is one of the best keepers in the world. We've seen enough of him over the last 8 to 10 years or whatever he's been at the club now, that to suggest that he's a great keeper. So yeah, I agree, Alex. Give him all the faith you can at the moment. So, Ryan Burberspin9 comments with a super chat. Thank you, Ryan Burberspin9. He says, lots of love, Gungers. Absolutely sending Gungshi the love over in Taiwan, everyone. Stick those love hearts in there. Thank you so much for that, by the way, Ryan Burberspin9. Gungshi is an absolute top lad. He's an incredible supporter of this show in every way possible, really. And that's why I sent him a t-shirt, because I just wanted to say thanks. But I wanted it to be a surprise, and now I've actually just sent him a rag. I've just sent him a rag that he can't even wear. Maybe you could adapt it into some sort of, I don't know, like a food bib or something there, Gungshi, you know? Basically a Don Piglioni food bib. So, Matt Rush has sent me a Tellez update. Let's check this one out. Thank you so much, Matt Rush, my transfer guru. Really appreciate all the information, bud. Here is an update on Alex Tellez. So Alex Tellez is hopeful for sealing a move to Manchester United this week. Negotiations are advanced with United, trying to drive his price down to a maximum of 25 million euros. No surprise there that we're always trying to drive the price down. As he is in the final year of his contract, he would earn about £75,000 a week at United. Absolutely fantastic information there. Thank you for the Tellez update there, Matt Rush. So that's what we understand. It's more of the same in regards to the negotiations are advancing. So we are progressing with the negotiations with Porto for Alex Tellez, trying to get the price down to somewhere around 25 million euros. That's what we're understanding right now. And in terms of the wages, he'd be offered a contract of around about £75,000 a week. So that's the information we've got to play with at the moment. So yes, that sounds promising. Let's hope that this deal can be done and wrapped up certainly before the Brighton game. That would be amazing. Deo Upamecano on United's radar as well still. But yeah, also, let's have a look at this. I wanted to just talk to you about this one because we are still in the mix for Ismaila Sarr, reported to being closer on a transfer breakthrough for Ismaila Sarr. I'm not going to talk too much about that one because there's so many different varying factors. It's probably Jadon Sancho. If we do get Sarr or another player, it will probably be near the end of the window as a last minute alternative to Jadon if that breaks down. Because like I said, I think we're going to go back to Dortmund, end of the window, put in an offer and potentially try and lowball them, and they're either going to accept or reject, and then that'll probably be it. I don't see us going and paying the 120 mil because, like we said, like Gary Neville said with what his exclusive that he did for Sky Sports, there's ego here. There's ego here from the board. They don't want to be seen overpaying for players because they always have been seen overpaying for players. They don't want to do that anymore. So it's an ego thing with them almost. So also Watford wanted an option to buy James Garner. So we obviously loaned James Garner to Watford. They wanted an option to buy James Garner for £5 million at the end of the season, but Man United refused, which is good because I think James Garner's got some good potential for the future. I think it's good that he's gone out on loan. He's not going to get game time in this United side with all these midfielders in there, but Watford's a good team to go there. It's also a little sweetener for the Ismaila Sarr deal potentially, and it means we're going to get him back. So definitely do not think that that's the best thing to do would have been to give them a potential buyback clause. Matt Rush says subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, Matty the Rushmeister. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you're new to this channel and you're not subscribed, what are you really doing with your life? You should definitely hit that subscribe button. Smash the subscribe. We're on our way to 30,000 subscribers, lads and lasses. Woo woo! All aboard the bacon train. Okay, let's do this then. Other bits of news, there's just some little tidbits that I want to get through. Of course, the Evra stuff, that's pretty damning about Manchester United's negotiation team. He said a sporting director from a top football club called me and asked me to tell Matthew Judge to answer his phone. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Okay, brilliant. Here's a little bit more information. Buddy Peter Crouch has come out and said about Donny van der Beek signing in pursuit of Jadon Sancho. Who was he talking to? But he said basically Raul Jimenez should be a priority for United and a centre-back. He thinks Jimenez would be a brilliant signing from Wolves, which is true. I think that would be a good signing going forward as well, considering Igalo's not going to be here post-January, really. And a centre-back should be the priority for United. He also questioned whether we even needed Donny van de Beek. He said, I held a lot of hope for them in the summer, but once again, the way they've negotiated the transfer market has left me puzzled. They seem to buy good players such as Donny van de Beek, but they don't seem to have a strategy. If you've got Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, why do you need Van der Beek, he says? Why did they not go for a forward, such as Raul Jimenez from Wolves? We do need more goals. I mean, Martial's, is he going to get 30 goals or 25 goals this season in the league for us? I don't know. He said the defence needs strengthening. So why are they concentrating on Jadon Sancho rather than a partner for Harry Maguire? He said Sancho is superb, don't get me wrong, but how much of an upgrade is he on Martial, Rashford and Greenwood, who could all play in that position? He said the £100 million for Sancho could be better invested elsewhere. United didn't play well against Crystal Palace, but what I would say is that people are quick to react. It's never as bad as you fear and never as good as you believe. I still expect them to figure it out in the fight for the top four. By the way, Crouchy, he's got to be one of the most sort of likeable opposition players that there's been, really. Even as a player, we all freaking liked Crouchy. Even as a player, even though he was, not a rival. To be fair, he's just one of those most likeable people that there is. Why is he so likeable? And why does he talk so much bloody sense, man? Because that's exactly what he's doing. United should prioritise a centre-back. We should prioritise somebody else rather than Jadon Sancho, really. If that's going to eat up our whole transfer budget in signing Jadon Sancho, why the bloody hell would we do that when we are so clearly lacking players at the back? He's talking pure sense here, Crouchy. Gungshi says robot Crouchy. Yeah, the guy's an absolute legend, mate. To be fair, he's just such a nice bloke, isn't he? I do like Peter Crouch. So I just wanted to bring that up because I just read it and I thought, Crouchy, you're spot on here, man. We shouldn't even be dicking around with Sancho anymore. I like him, I want him to come, but if that's going to eat up our whole transfer budget, which it would, because the Glazers and Woodward, they're not going to go and spend a further 50 million on Upamecano or a further 20-odd million on another winger or a CDM or a left-back, necessarily, if they're going to get Sancho. They'll probably get Sancho and Tellers if they're going to get Sancho, and just that. And that will be a lot of money spent, and we'll all take that on the chin and say, well, at least they have gone and got the money in and invested it and tried to get the player that we wanted in. So at least we would say that, but it still would leave us with the same defensive issues. It would still leave us probably with Chris Smalling and Maguire as our best centre-back partnership, or Bailly and Maguire. And that's just, in my opinion, it's not tried and tested, it's not good enough. We need some better options, and we need a better player for the future who can go and turn into a world beater. Gunga says our defence and defensive midfield are priorities, I reckon, also right wing. So that should be, yes. Also, we mentioned that United may have changed their priorities somewhat in this window from what we understand with information coming out of the club, that they were looking at attacking players like Sancho, and maybe they now are reassessing it. Ryan Berber says, what would you be if you wasn't a footballer? A virgin. That's what Peter Crouch said, absolutely, man. Hey, he's doing all right with old Abby Clancy as well, isn't he, to be fair? Is that her name? Yeah, I think so. Paul van der Beek says, Mr. P doing the robot. Sandrizio Romano says, just go for Sancho. I mean, what is there to lose anymore? The board is just absolutely spineless. You see the concern I have with Sancho signing? This is the concern I have, lads and lasses. If Solskjaer gets Sancho, of course that's the player he wants, and that's brilliant. I'm sure he also wants to send it back and other players, though. Of course, because we're not good enough in other areas as well. So if we get Sancho, people are going to put so much pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if it doesn't go well again, because the defence is still going to be a shambles. It's one thing to have a great attacking team, but you need the foundation to let them attack and not to be shipping goals all the time, otherwise you're going to lose games. So if all those problems are still there at the back come the new season, then what good is it really having Jadon Sancho for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Yeah, we will score more, we will create more, we'll have better options up there. But if we're shipping goals still at the back, or we've got that Lindelof melt making errors all over the place, and Maguire not working in a good partnership, then we're still going to have all the same problems that we've got now. So I'd rather see us get a top quality player in there, a CDM as well, a top quality CDM, address the defensive part of the team. Crouchy's right. We've got good attacking players. If you added another young, good attacking, cheap player to it, like an Ismail Assar or, David Neres or somebody that's not going to totally break the bank, but is good and is getting better, then you'd have enough depth and quality up there. It's the rest of the team that's the problem. It's the centre-back area. It's the CDM. It's the left-back. It's these issues that are glaring in Manchester United's team. So if you address that, we'd absolutely be in a really good position to challenge and do bits as a club. So that's where I think on it. I mean, what do you think, guys? Have a little vote in the live chat. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you'd be happy ending the window with Sancho and Telles. Smash a 2 in the live chat if you think no Sancho, CDM, centre-back, left back, and another right mid. Stick a 1 for Sancho and Telles. Stick a 2 for 4 players instead, which is what you could get with that money. And if you got rid of a couple of the other players like Jones, etc., you'd get rid of the wage off the wages. So you'd not only save money not getting Sancho, you could also get rid of a couple of players and not even really have to spend that much money extra in wages. They're just going to replace outgoing players. Mark O says 2, Alex says Sancho, Voot says Sancho, Sam Axelson Sancho, Clifford Day Sancho, Arking says 2, Munib Siddiqui Sancho, Hunar 1 Sancho, Sana Bitan says 2, which is get all the 4 players, Manu says get 4 players, Yeah Boy get 4 players, MUFC Danny, Sancho, Savulon get 4 players. Look, I think we should be getting other players personally, but I don't see us doing it because I can't imagine United being even able with our board and negotiation team to even be able to negotiate 4 deals successfully before the window closes. Gunga says Ndidi, a good centre-back, and Tellers would be good. That would be very good. That's it. That would actually make us defensively sound if we had Ndidi and a top-quality centre-back. That would make us defensively sound, and that would actually allow the attacking players, which we do have, which are good, to go and create. We need more depth there. Daniel James isn't a good enough option. Lingard's not, Pereira's not, Mata's not. We need another winger. We definitely need another winger like David Neres or someone like that. Why don't we look at him? So frustrating being a United fan in the transfer windows. It really is. Just when you think it's gonna get someone, something just seems to pop up and filth us out. I mean, look at this. Fabrizio Romano's tweeted an hour ago, Luis Suarez to Atletico Madrid. Here we go. Last details to be completed in the next few hours. Deal done. He has agreed personal terms and also spoke directly with Simeone. As reported on Friday, Atleti were waiting to sell players. So, no, I don't want Luis Suarez. I'm just saying, Luis Suarez, he's a twat, but he's a quality player. I don't want to sign Luis Suarez. I'm just saying there's other clubs out there who are signing top players right now, who are putting themselves in a better position to start the new campaign than us. And it's wrong. All over the world, people are signing top quality players, but United can't seem to do it. Right, okay then, guys. Thank you so much for getting in here today. I'm going to jump in the comments now. I'm not going to dump in the comments. Actually, I'm going to dump in the comments. I'm going to put Ed Woodward in the comments section, so I'm just going to dump in the comments real quick. Actually, I've lost the emoji, but I want to put a poo-poo emoji in there. You knew what I was doing. There it is. I'm going to have a dump in the comments. There you go. No, I'm actually going to jump in the comments. Dizzy Red Devil, how you doing? He says, I'm pretty much ready to move on from Sancho. Yeah, I mean, that's it. There are other good winger options available for much less money. It just doesn't make much financial sense for United to strengthen one position when we can strengthen all the other positions. 2K Stevens says we need 3 more players. 100% agree with you, 2K. You're spot on there, my friend. So let's get into your comment section then, lads. Thank you, and lasses. Thank you so much to you all for getting in here today and getting involved with this video. Really appreciate it. There's lots of you watching, 600 of you guys right now. So shout out to you all. I want to give you a bunch of shout outs. Shatty Gaming with the poo emoji. Nice shat. Marco, Sam Hawks, Mikey Smith, Zhen Zhol, Alex Gungshi, Sadik Rahman, Paul Vanderbeek, Driving Range King, Zhenlol, Kayam, Ellie. Everyone, thank you for getting in here. Let's see what you guys think then. Let's see what you guys think about anything we've discussed in this video. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Ask me anything you want. I'll stick around for 10 or 15 minutes or whatnot. We try to make these no longer than 90 minutes. I do have an ability to waffle on and ramble on, and I apologise for that, guys. But ask me anything for the last 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll have a bit of a Q&A here. Do you think we're going to get... Also, I didn't even talk about Dan James, by the way. Sorry, there's so much news today, it's crazy. But Dan James is looking... there's some seriously strong interest from Dan James. I didn't actually know this, but Leeds United almost signed Dan James in 2019 before we signed him. And he was actually stood with the manager holding the shirt. Supposedly, as this article that I read earlier suggested. But it just fell down at the last minute for some reason. But that's how close he actually was to joining Leeds United. Did you know that? So look, Dan James might be actually going to Leeds United, lads and lasses, but it all depends on who we get. There's no point getting Daniel James, letting Daniel James go, unless we're going to strengthen and actually have other players in that area. Ed Woodward, how you doing, Ed? Go and do some bloody business, Ed. He comments, it's like having two holes. One big one, one small one. A canoe, then you fix the small one, and then an even bigger one later. We need to fix our defence first before buying more attack. I think I know what you mean, bro. Yeah, we need to start bailing that water out of that bloody canoe is what we need to do as well, and get rid of some of the dead wood as well at the same time as patching up the holes in the canoe. It's a good analogy you've made. Ren Chan says, we will struggle this season if we do not sign a centre-back. 100% Ren. Who would be your centre-back of choice, everyone? Mine would be Upamecano, but there's some other good options out there. Like, people keep mentioning Pau Torres. People keep saying Badia Shield. Maybe there's somebody else. Have your say and let me know who you think would be a good centre-back. Victor Makinda says David Neres is also a better option. I think he's a great option. He's 23, Brazilian, plays for Ajax. We know our dealings with Ajax. We sold them Daily Blind. We signed Donny van der Beek. We could definitely get the deal done for a reasonable amount of money. I don't see him costing any more than 50 or 60 million. 50 or 60 million David Neres. You're getting a 23-year-old Brazilian international. Crikey, what doesn't make sense about that? He's still a good option. So, yeah, I think it's silly. I think it's silly to just put all your eggs in one basket and spend it on Sancho. Now that we've seen how bad our backline really still is. Vincent Bullock says, you know why VAR would have fined them both teeth been offside? It's Luis Suarez you're talking about. Yeah, constantly offside because of his teeth. Alex says, Pig, what's success for you this season? Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Alex. I mean, we've got to be realistic as a fan base. Success to me would be Champions League qualification. As pitiful as that sounds, we should be hoping to challenge for a title. We should be hoping to win a cup. But I just think success for this side right now is still being competitive and keeping that Champions League money coming in, keeping that ability to bring top players in because you have Champions League football. That's the main thing. It's about status more than anything. We still need to be a top 4 club. But yes, I would love to win a trophy. That would be a success, of course, if we won a trophy. But more importantly, we need Champions League football, and that is sad to say that as a United fan. We should have never been happy with that. Ellie says, do they have skin marks? I'm not too sure what you're talking about. If it's my underpants, then I don't know. Probably not. Dexter Don says, we need it's not my underpants. Dexter Don says, we need a top-class striker, a real finisher. I don't think Martial is it. Well, maybe not. I wasn't impressed with him in the game the other day, but in all honesty, I wasn't impressed with anybody. He didn't get much service. Not much was created for Tony Martial at all. Let's see if we can smash 250 likes, lads and lasses. Get in there, we smashed 200. Smash a thumbs up on this video if you have not done so already. Leave a cheeky little like. That would be sick of you. Thank you very much. Sadek Rahman says, is Neres comparable to Sanchez? Well, he's a right winger. He's rapid. He's skillful. I mean, I'll get his stats up for you. I don't think he's going to be comparable to Sancho because Sancho's doing it in arguably a better league. But he is doing it for a better standard, I guess. So that does also help. I mean, Ajax is probably one of the dominant leagues in the Eredivisie, really. So they're probably going to have their wicked way with people more often. But certainly that's also the case for Dortmund. So maybe it is a fair comparison. So let's just have a look at David Neres' stats on transfer market. So he's 23 years of age, born in 97, Brazilian international, or has played for the Brazilian international team anyway. How many times? Let's have a look. He's played for Brazil 7 times, 7 times 1 goal. 7 times 1 goal for the Brazilian national team at 23. Born in Sao Paulo, right winger, quick as Fook. Let's have a look then. So he's played for Ajax. How many times has he played for Ajax? He's played, well, he doesn't actually, wait a second, I'm just trying to find his full stats here. Oh, okay, so he's played twice for them this season. That's why I couldn't find these stats for, let's have a look at last season's statistics for Ajax. But David Neres, I certainly think he would be a good option from what I've seen anyway. But in terms of what he's actually done, he's not really played that much for any other teams. He's come from Sao Paulo, of course, Sao Paulo FC, £10 million. Ajax bought him into the 16-17 season. Since then, he's been playing in the Eredivisie for Ajax. And let's just have a look at his... We don't really have his proper... Oh, here we go. All seasons. Like that's where I was having a mare, guys. Sorry, I was clicking the wrong thing. I was on current season. Here we go. So the Eredivisie in 1920 season, he played 12 times. He scored 6 goals and he got 1 assist. I don't know why he played so little times there, but his stats are good. Maybe he had an injury or something like that. He played 4 times in the Champions League last season for Ajax, providing 1 assist. So it sounds like maybe he had a bit of an injury-struck season, or maybe he was kept out of the side a little bit there, but I doubt it. Because the season before here, 18-19, he's had 29 starts in the Eredivisie for Ajax, 8 goals, 11 assists. Those are some very good stats, contributing 19 goals in 29 games for Ajax there in the Eredivisie. In the Champions League for them in that season, he played 11 times. They were obviously really good that season, Ajax, in the Champions League. 11 times in the Champions League, so he's a big part of that. 2 goals, 2 assists in 11 games in the Champions League. Going further back, the season before in the Eredivisie, 32 starts, 14 goals, 13 assists. 27 goals created in 32 starts in the Eredivisie. These are some very impressive stats. Look, it's the Dutch league. I don't know if it can really compare to the Premier League or even the Bundesliga. But if you look at those stats, they're very impressive, guys. And I like his style. So he's an option, is all I'm saying. He's an option. I'm not saying that realistically there's no links to us and David Neres at this moment in time at all. There is nothing to link us to him. This is just me saying that's somebody we should consider. Somebody that is a good option. Flyest Quang says, we will regret not getting Sancho. He'll go to Liverpool and we'll end up feeling like crap. That's a very good point, mate. That would be shit if he did end up going to one of the rivals like that. Vincent Bullock says, it's okay, but the Brazilians haven't worked out for us. No way Fred is Brazilian. What about Rafael? Rafael was a decent Brazilian, but yeah, Kleberson, Fabio wasn't exactly the best. Fred's not been too great. You're right, the Brazilians haven't really worked, but it only takes one. We've got Alex Telles coming too. So what does that mean? We need some more Brazilians in the team, don't we? Or to be fair, they speak Portuguese, so that's going to actually help out that Bruno's the captain there and stuff. Yeah, Alex says, give Mengi and Twanzebe a chance. They're better than Lindelof. 100%. It's a shame that Twanzebe's injured at the moment. Otherwise, I think he might have actually started the first game of the season. Because I don't think Solskjaer really wants to play Lindelof. I think he just is aware that he's the most experienced player that we got there other than, Maguire. And he's sort of content with, or not content with, but we did have quite decent defensive stats towards the end of the season last year. Nobody can deny that. Like, we weren't conceding a lot of goals. So maybe he thought, we'll just stick with that, see how it goes. But really, he needs to make a change now. Kabaki HD, great to see you, Kabaki. Thanks for stopping by, lad. Griffo Chaz comments, we will need a right winger to compete, and now is the only time to viably get him. There are no real centre-backs we can get this summer, so get Sancho while we can, and then get a centre-back later. You don't think Upamecano is a real centre-back? I mean, he's got great potential. He fits the bill. He's quick. He's athletic. He's 21. He's impressive, so he's not too much of a gamble, and he's not a lot of money either, really. 50 or 60 million you'd get him for, definitely, because he's got a valuation of, or a release clause coming in about 6 months' time or a year, somewhere around there, which is going to put a release clause on him of about 45 million euros. So in terms of would he be saleable for RB Leipzig, from RB Leipzig's point of view, I think, yes, they would consider it if the price was right. Griffo Chaz, thank you very much for getting in here, though. By the way, check out the website, everyone, flyandpigunited.com. There's a great piece that Griffo Chaz has written on there. There's a link in the description, but there's a great piece that Griffo Chaz has written about Alex Telles. If you want to get a summary of Alex Telles as a player and what he could bring to Manchester United and his stats, and just really great article written very, very well about Alex Telles and what he could bring to United, go to the website and check out flyandpigunited.com. Gungshi says, just seen a rumour about George Mendes wanting United to sign Angi's player, Ryan Out-Nori. Anyone heard of him? I've never personally heard of him, actually, my friend. Sounds quite interesting, though. Arnoldas Christian Vlok Van Wyk says, what about Koeman and Theo Fernandes and centre-back Umtiti? That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, Umtiti is another consideration. He is experienced. He is pretty decent. Gungshi, thank you so much for getting in here. Sorry, I didn't know what that was because it's in a different currency to what you usually send there. But Gungshi sent me a PayPal over. Thank you, mate. I was wondering, what is that? It looks like a license plate. Anyway, he's put a comment here. Thank you, Gungers, for the support, man. He's commented and said, Pig, don't worry about the shirt. I'm going to follow Eddie's advice and put it over my pillow to use as a pillowcase. Or maybe I'll wear it like a loincloth to get extra strong Piglioni vibes in my loins on match days. Thanks again, my friend. Dude, if you want to send me an email or in the next paper with your size, right? Because I didn't want to ask, you know, you don't want to ask people how, you know, I suppose you should actually. If you're going to send them a garment of clothing, you should definitely find out what size they are. But Gunshi, if you tell me the size, mate, I will send you another one that you can actually wear. 100%. You deserve it, man. It's no big deal. I'd like you to have one. You use that one as a pillowcase, but I will send you another one, mate. So please, let me know what size you are in a private PayPal or something next time you do it. You know, next time you do it. Not now, but next time you do it. Thank you, Gungshi. You're an absolute top lad. Appreciate it, dude. Ryan Burbus, yeah, thank you very much. He's put a link to the Patreon there if you're interested. VK Dean says, we're in deep trouble, Pig. The way the club is run is horrific. Yes, you're right about that one. I mean, hopefully we can get some bottle in this window and actually sign some players, but with our negotiation team at the helm, probably not. Abby Dixon confirms, comments. The boss confirms he will rotate his squad for Tuesday's Carabao Cup third round tie. Absolutely. It's interesting to see how much he will rotate it. I still think he's going to start 5 players and make about 6 changes. I think he's going to start 5 of the first team. We're going to have that core of players that needs the game time. I'm thinking this. I'm thinking Maguire's going to start because he looked ropey as anything the other day and Lindelof's not up in our plan. So I think Maguire and Mengi, 18-year-old lad, give him a game time. Looks good. It's against Luton with that team of players around him. He should be able to do well. Dean Henderson in goal, of course. I'm thinking Brandon Williams left back. Luke Shaw looked off the pace the other day. Get him on the treadmill, get some pounds burned while Brandon plays the game. Right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I know he didn't play the other game. I know Fosu Mensah did. I know this is a game ordinarily that would be right for Fosu Mensah, but I just see Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be put in there because he's so solid and he's experienced compared to the other young players. Central midfield, put Fred and Donny in there. Donny played well the other day. Fred's going to buzz around. That could work really well together. Across the 3 above them then, I would say Rashford definitely needs a game time. He needs game time. He's too bloody off the pace and off the boil. He needs game time. I wouldn't start Dan James, even though this is a game tailored to Dan James, but maybe we'll see Ollie do that. But I certainly think Rashford, I think Bruno needs to start as well to get that match sharpness back. Bruno Fernandes has to play. He had a poor game the other day. He needs to play. We need to keep some of the identity in the team. Igalo up top does make sense to me. On the right, you know, take your pick really. Could be James, could be Greenwood. I think he's going to start Lingard because it's the cup game against Luton. I think these players need to earn their money some way. I think he's going to start Lingard. So I think he is going to rotate the team a good bit. But I think he's still going to put at least 5 players in there that need game time. Legends. Thank you, Matt Rush. He says, subscribe to the channel. Yes, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do sub to the channel. Skipping tax, what's going on? He comments, David Neres, St. Maximin, Bailey and Campos would all cost half what Sancho would and give some sort of performance. Sancho is a risk. Let's not forget. Yes, plus, look, remember, if you sign like Ismaila Sarr for 30 million, you could actually play Greenwood right wing, but it's just nice to know that you've got Ismaila Sarr there as a good backup option, as a good alternative if there's an injury knock or anything like that. Because I think Greenwood's good enough. He might only be 18. I actually think he is good enough. I mean, you're probably not going to lose that much between Greenwood and Sancho, as stupid as that sounds, even though Sancho's a £120 million player, because I think Greenwood is also a generational player, like Sancho is. I think Greenwood's going to be a generational player. So I feel you on that one. Paul van der Beek says, Mr. P, Bruno Fernandes should be captain. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, does it? Solskjaer's stuck with Slabby. I personally don't think that's the right move. I think Bruno's a better captain, but there you go. It is what it is. Alex says, the problem with a centre-back is we need a partner for him. Someone fast and a good 1v1 defender. There's only a handful of centre-backs that fit that profile. Upamecano is one. Absolutely. That's why we should go and get him. I agree, Alex. Upamecano is only one, and he's 21. So if you signed him now, it might be 50, 60 million pounds. But if you signed him now, you're going to have that centre-back position, hopefully, if everything goes right and he develops right, sorted for the next decade. So it's like a Rio situation. Get Rio in for the next decade. Of course, it's a no-brainer. So that's how I view it. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Rio, who is, really, but that's the sort of level we need to be aiming for. That's the aspirations we need to have. Not Lindelof, not Smalling, not Jones. No, we need a Rio. Del Amen comments, if we don't do away with Maguire plus Lindelof, even 20 years, we cannot win anything. I agree. I think we need to improve that centre-back partnership. I do think Maguire, if he's put next to somebody who is quick and who is good defending one-on-one like we talked about, then it would make sense to keep with him at the moment because he is a good player. He's really good in the air. He's great heading stuff away with that massive slab. He's a really good passer of the ball, actually. He's just slow, and he needs somebody around him to mop up for him sometimes. Tony Shields says United could end up in the Championship. Well, it wouldn't be the first time, mate. Well, technically with those league names, but obviously we did get relegated back in the day. Anthony Heath says can't get until next season, but I don't see that happening, to be honest, Tony. I don't know if we'll get until next season either, and by then somebody else might have actually plucked up the interest or had the money to be able to go and get them themselves. Because look, Chelsea are on a spending spree this window. They've got some good value players in some ways, but they have spent a lot on others. And look, they just can't think about a Sancho like that now. But next year they could, and Liverpool could next year. They're just all strengthening. The other teams are doing what we should have done. Rather than pursue one massive price player who fills one position, they're pursuing loads of different other players. Even Liverpool are doing that now. They've got Jota and they've got Thiago. So United haven't done that at all. We've just got one position strengthened in this window, which we already had a bit of strength area in that area. So we've had a nightmare in this window. We haven't strengthened ourselves, even though we've got Donny. And yes, that is strengthening. He looks like a really good player. We haven't really strengthened the overall team that much. Griffo says, Upamecano is the deal centre-back, but Leipzig won't sell, especially with the season about to start. That's where the Benjamins come in, my friend. You know, if you pay enough, they will sell. It's as simple as that. I don't think they would hold out for a ridiculous amount for him either, because he's just he's not worth that much right now, and he's not worth 100 million. You know, he hasn't done enough in the game to be worth anywhere near that like Sancho. He's worth half that because of potential, and that's mostly what it's based on, and ability, but mostly potential. So I feel you, Griffo. They don't want to sell. Nobody wants to sell their players at this stage of the season. Absolutely not. But if the offer was good enough, they would sell him, especially if there's a release clause that comes into effect in Jan or the summer next year that we're led to be believed. If that's the case and we pay 15, 20 million more than what they were going to lose him for at the end of the season, you never know. You never know. Look at some of the other situations, Thiago, etc., Teles. These teams are more willing to let these players go because they know they're going to lose them for a lot less or nothing at the end of the year. Skipping tax, I would love to see it, actually. I think that could work out really well. I do think we would definitely miss him on the right back in the right back slot though, and who are we going to put there? Brandon Williams, but he's just said Wan-Bissaka centre back. I'd love to see it, mate. I'd love to see it gambled on. I'd love to see it explored, I should say. Sarvulon comments, are the 3 young players we bought part of our budget? If yes, why did we spend 30 million for prospects when you can pay for Teles and get all centre-back? Very true. I think I can't criticise them spending money on those young players too much, though, because it actually looks like they've bought some really good young players, and I know it's only potential at this stage, but it's not a lot of money to get these really young players in, 15, 16, 17 years of age, who can develop and turn into really great players in 4 or 5 years' time. So I think that's great planning for the future, but I hear you, though. We needed to be addressing the first team. You've seen United spend money and get some players in for their women's team this season as well, which is great. But we need to be improving that men's side, the first team. Yeah, that's right, Alex says Griffo Chaz is a really good writer. I enjoy reading it. He's spot on. Check out all of his articles on Flying Pig United. He's a fantastic author on there, and he does the website proud. So thank you so much, Griffo. Thank you for that, Alex, for the feedback as well. I agree wholeheartedly. Abby Dixon says, the boss confirms he will rotate his squad for Tuesday. Oh, yeah, we've already gone over that one. Right, let me scroll down to the bottom. Living rent-free in your head. How you doing? He says, my guy. How you doing there, living rent-free? Liam Hardy says, Pig, you need to see Patrice Evra's latest comments. I have done, mate. Yeah, I talked about it earlier on in the video, mate. So Patrice Evra's obviously come out and told about his disdain for the ownership. He's basically launched an extraordinary attack on the way that United has sort of dealt with this window and how we're being left behind on his Instagram rant, basically. He said, this is what to quote him, he said, if I have a problem with Ed Woodward, I won't talk on social media. I would just call him or meet him face to face about what I think about something. I go and chill him, please, Patrice Evra. But anyway, he says, the only problem I would say to Ed is trusting people he should never trust. He even trusts people outside the club that he shouldn't trust. That's what I can say about Ed. Before us, Bobby Charlton, George Best, they make the history of the club. All those people, they make the history of the club. And we try to respect it. 99 and us in 08. Just some people, they want to blow all this legacy away. For what? For business? Yeah. So he got on a proper tirade there. He's got on a proper tirade. And he also said in regards to United that he said that Matt Judge... Patrice Evra said, I had a call from a top executive or a top sporting director, at a top European club who called me, Patrice Evra, to ask me if they can get Matt Judge to answer his phone because he can't get hold of him. Can you believe it? I mean, it's just preposterous. So I agree completely with Patrice Evra. It is a joke. It's an absolute calamity the way this football club is run, and it's completely wrong. Lads and lasses, if you're all watching, we're nearly at 250 likes. So if you've enjoyed this show at all, if you want to show your support for this stream, please do hit that like button. That would mean a lot to me. It really would boost this up in the rankings of the videos on YouTube. That's how it works, my friends. So it's important, if you haven't done so, smash the like button and get your thoughts and opinions in for the last few minutes while we stick around and do a bit of a Q&A here then. Nice ones. Jacob Stapleton says, Palace fan here, we'll swap Maguire for Benteke. Good deal. I'm not quite sure we're that desperate, but maybe. Jimmy Pavlovich says, good on Patrice Evra. Absolutely agree. Kabaki says, to be honest, Van der Beek will kick Pogba out the team because Pogba is inconsistent. I think that's true. It's a good signing. But Pogba is a big name player on paper anyway. And on paper, it's not the position in the team we needed to strengthen the most, really. Bibs Akeem, how you doing? Jimmy Pavlovich, thank you for the thumbs up. Enkada Amazer says, yeah, bring back my Rooney. Rooney would still do a better job than half of these crap. Rooney now, if you took Rooney back and signed him on as a player and registered him, he would do better than Andreas Pereira, surely. He's just a better player. You'd still have him just for his set pieces alone and stuff like that. Azar Parak says, follow the channel. Thank you, Azar. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Lynette Giggs says, Berberspin9 exactamente. And Berberspin9 said, Ed treated Uncle Pat terribly at the end. Go on, Pat. Absolutely. Yeah, you're spot on. Go and stick one on him, Pat. I love this game. Marius Prime says, Old Trafford, welcome back Wayne Rooney. That would be sick. I would actually love to see that. It's just from a nostalgic point of view. Even though the last season or so with Rooney at United was a little bit. But actually, in hindsight, he still is a heck of a lot of better player than some of the crap we got. Sojay Eniola says, Oni out, Pochettino in. Totally disagree with you. Pochettino hasn't won anything. He was at Spurs for a long time, didn't win anything. Got sacked for petering off after 5 years and having a great squad. No thanks. Rajon says, is Jesse Lingard still going to Tottenham? Well, look, we've got to wait and see what happens with Dele Alli. We understand if Spurs do sell Dele Alli to PSG or anybody else for that matter, they will be looking to table an offer for Jesse Lingard, but only if they do get Dele Alli off the books. That's what we understand at this stage, so it could happen. Mourinho loves Lingard, and he wants to bring him into that side to have that headless chicken to press, I guess, in games. So it might happen. It's looking like it could happen, that one, my friends, because he is obviously a player that Mourinho likes, and if they're getting rid of Dele Alli, he's a good option. United would probably be quite desperate to sell him because he's surplus to requirements, really. He's an okay backup. I think Ollie likes him too. I think Ollie likes to chuck him on at the end of games and have him run and show his energy and press people. That's what he's good at, to be fair. But he shouldn't be starting any games even if he stays, and certainly if an offer came in, £20 million, anywhere in that region really, £15 million, I would say sell him because he doesn't really offer Manchester United a lot. He is on big money for what he is, and we could go and get somebody else better. So it's a no-brainer for me on that one. Sidamiso Chuma says, to be honest, Rashford and Lingard are just the same, only Marcus is being overhyped. Pogba is slow, Lindelof is crap. Yeah, I mean, look, Marcus, I don't know if he is being overhyped. He's still got 17 league goals from left wing last season amid injuries. Let's look at those stats. They're pretty decent for a 22-year-old lad. Give him a chance. Give him a chance this season. I admit, if he doesn't do the same this season or improve now, then okay. But fair enough. He has had a good season last year overall. It's just the second half was crap. Unkada Amazer says, I love Rooney. Good call. Jose's Leather Jacket says they're buying players out of position or on the bench to accommodate weak players. Why the F is Pogba playing when Van der Beek is better than him? Yeah, it's just reputation. It's reputation and wages. He's on 300 grand a week and he's Paul Pogba World Cup winner. We need to sell that guy, really. If we ever want to move on as a football club, we kind of need to sell him, really. Ashar Parak says, no Poch, please. Even if he does come in, we'll get the same treatment from the board as our previous 4 managers. Yeah, you know, Poch is a good manager. He did a good job at Southampton. He did a good job at Spurs. But he actually hasn't won anything, and I don't like his track record. If United were going to get another manager, it has to be a really good, like a Carlo Ancelotti. That would have made sense. But I don't want to get another manager. I want to stick with Ole Gunnar. Ellie says, welcome to the new subscriber, Don. Thank you so much, Ellie. And thank you to all the mods. Everybody stick a love heart in the live chat for the moderators. And welcome Don as well. Kevin541 says, Tellez is okay, not exceptional considering Luke Shaw is crap. People might feel Tellez is excellent. Yeah, I mean, he seems to offer Porto quite a lot in terms of goals and set pieces and penalties and assists. So I think, yeah, he should offer us a good bit. He's a good attacking wing back anyway. Luke Shaw's still got his job to do, though. It's just more competition. Marios Prime says, I think we need Upamecano or Koulibaly, Telles and Sancho as well. But if that doesn't work, especially for Sancho, we have many choices like Koeman, Perisic or Douglas Costa. Absolutely. And if you've got one of those other players, one of those other options, and, you know, Perisic or Douglas Costa, they don't fill me with too much amazement. But they're still good options, great options, in fact, just to have if you can't get Sancho and then improve the rest of the side. David Senior says, Manchester United should sign. Who should we sign? And he says, and must sign. Who should we sign? Philip Thomas Paracal says Sancho. Kevin 541 says Rashford had pens. Gangshi says, welcome to the channel, Don Miglione. Great community here. Thank you for your kind offer, but I have too many clothes as it is, and I'm trying to get rid of them. Thanks a lot, though. Is that to me, Gangshi, or to Don Miglione? I don't know if he's... Either way. Marius Prime says Lindelof and Maguire so poor quality about what we had in the past. Ferdinand and Vidic. Matt Rush says, we've hit 256 likes. Nice one, buddy. Agrippa Chinhara says, I think Matt Judge can learn something from the ladies signing players for Chelsea. See us signing the 10th player for Chelsea whilst Matty and Eddie are playing. Absolutely, dude. Rajon says, I really hope he goes abroad. Wouldn't want him to rub it in at the same time. Are you talking about Jesse Lingard? Marius Prime says, in new football, all backs are now wingers. Pretty, you know, definitely looks like if you can consider Trent Alexander-Arnold. But actually, you know... there's still a place for that proper defensive wing-back or full-back like Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Alex says, Evra said to stick by Ollie, so I'm sticking by Ollie. It's the Glazers, people. It won't change till they hire a director of football or sell the club. Spot on. Totally agree. G. Beads comments, we need the board out before manager. Ollie might be fine if he got the players to ask. Absolutely. Gungshi says, my mommy is calling me. See you later if I miss the end of the show. Gungshi, thank you so much for getting in here today, pal. You're a top lad. Appreciate it, dude. Have a great day, Gungshi. Sorry about the debacle with the t-shirt size, mate. I hope you can put it to good use, though, honestly. Just a little token to say thank you because I had a look to send you Jaffa cakes and all sorts of stuff. It's quite a lot of money to send stuff to Taiwan, man. I didn't realise. Doing it that way it is anyway, like sending a parcel me myself, if you know what I mean. So maybe I could find another way to source you some stuff, Gungsha, I don't know. Anyway, Tony Shields says, sure is a fat pig, little bit harsh, he does need to lose the pounds though. Cindy Collector, how you doing? Great to have you in, says, we need to get a couple of players in. My God, get rid of Lindelof. Great show again, pig. Thank you so much, G-Wolf. Thank you, G-Wolf. What a top lad as well. He says, smash that like button, lads and lasses. Thank you very much. Get the wolf emoji in for G-Wolf. 5 says, Luke Shaw's got to go. Daniel James is not a baller. Thing is, though, we don't want to sell Luke Shaw. We need the depth and the quality. That's what this Telles deal is all about. It's getting competition for places and depth in these positions. So now, what that would mean is, even if Dallow's going or Dallow's no good for us in the future, we still got Brandon Williams, who's a right-footed wing-back, and was just sort of put in there at left back because we needed him last season. But he can deputise for Wan-Bissaka now, and now we've got Telles and Luke Shaw at left back, which is brilliant. It gives us good depth and good options. Loopy, how you doing with the Wolfie emoji? Thank you, Loopy1838. Soji Eniola says, hope we qualify for Champions League next season. Absolutely. That should be our minimum target, really. And actually, I think even though we finished 3rd last season, 4th should be our target this year because Solskjaer's not been backed properly. Ishmael says, is Telles happening? The negotiations are taking place right now, mate. So there's a mediator who's dealing with the negotiations between the two football clubs, Porto and United right now. So we're expecting something in the next few days, guys. Thank you, Tukarim Akilish, for getting in here. Ryan Burberspin 9, appreciate it. Agrippa Chinhara says, if Dan James goes to Leeds, Bielsa will turn him into a beast. Probably true, the way that they do play the football. I mean, we'll see. If Dan James does go to Leeds, that would be kind of shit in a way. I don't want to see one of our players go to a bitter rival. But at the same time, if we improved and actually signed some other players, that would make a lot of sense. But he's not the main player we need to get out of the club at this stage, is he? Bills fan says, Shaw would put all you to shame on a beach. You guys are ridiculous calling him fat. Bills fan, dude, we know that, okay? Have you seen me? But we understand he's a professional athlete, though. I used to say the same about Rooney sometimes. When he come back from pre-season, he would be tubby. Now, that's fair. They've not done the training. They've not put all the work in that they have done. They've got to live a little. I get it. They do have to live a little. But he's still a professional athlete playing for United. He should be 100% conditioned as far as I'm concerned. I hear you, but if I was getting paid 100 grand a week, man, oh man, I'd have nutritionists. I'd be 100%. It's easy to say that, I know, and I probably wouldn't. But He should be, because he's a United player. Simple as that. But I hear what you're saying. You know, we're all fat bastards at the end of the day. He's actually skinny. People used to say that about Fat Frank Lampard, didn't they? I still call him Fat Frank Lampard. He's not even fat. He just sort of used to have a bit of one of those. Bit of that as a young lad. Hunar, thank you very much. G Wolf, Ryan Berber, Clifford Day, Sfinzo. Hey guys, you know what? I'm going to wrap this video up now, guys. But I've had a pleasure talking to you all. Just an update on all the different transfer news. Come back after this video is finished and have your say on anything that we have discussed in this video. Do make sure you come back and let us know your thoughts on anything and who we should get, etc. But really appreciate you all for watching this stream. Please do us a massive favour if you haven't done so and smash the like on it. That will help this stream out massively. So please do that if you haven't. And subscribe to the channel also if you're new to this channel. We do daily transfer updates on this channel, match reactions, all that stuff. We're doing the Luton watch along tomorrow. Excuse me. So come back and get involved. Get involved with Flying Pig United. And it'll be great to have you on board the bacon train. Nice one, Matt Russ. So Leipzig is still expected to be signing a player. Soroff. Very interesting. G. Wolf says he had a bit of a gut. Soja says, I hate seeing Man United losing. The Man U, GER, how you doing? Marek Stachowski, see you soon. Paul Vanderbeek, see you at 9:30. Absolutely, see you all at 9:30 p.m. For anybody who doesn't know, we do an evening roundup as well at 9:30 p.m. So click the subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified when we post, and I'll see you all at 9:30 p.m. Tukarim, thank you. Tukarim Akilish. Jose's leather jacket, shout out, have a good day. Ellie, hope you're feeling better now. You have a wonderful day too. Thank you to all the moderators as well. Hunar, Savulon, one of the latest channel members, legend. Have a great day. Matt Rush, Soja Eniola, Ryan Burberspin 9, Matt Rush, Jacob Izama, Flyest Kiang, and Kayam. Kayam, you have a cracking day, mate. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Stay classy. Come back in a few minutes. Comment in the not live comments and let me know about any of your opinions and any info that you think we should be discussing. Thanks for watching. This is The Pig. I'll see you on the next one, 9:30 tonight. Stay classy. Have a great evening. And come on, United, for Fuch's sake. Nice one, Nanette Giggs, as well. Thank you. Everyone, appreciate you stopping by in this one. Lots of you in here today. Great stuff. This is the Patreon credits just at the end to say thank you to all the people that helped support this show by being patrons on Patreon. It really does mean a lot. Like, thank you guys to you that do that. And also the tier 2 channel members appear on this list too. But also I should just say thank you to all the channel members as well, because that is awesome that you are members of this channel. But certainly, you know, this exclusive list is patrons and tier 2 channel members. So just want all the names on this list that are going down there now. Thank you, each and every one of you, for supporting this show in that way. But like I say, everyone, the best thing you can do to support this show by a mile is just interact with me on here and give it a share if you can on social media. And of course, smash the like button as well. That's one of the best things you can do. Smash the like on it. Get involved afterwards with your comments as well. G Beads, have a cracking evening, mate. Flyers Kyung, G Wolf United, Agrippa Chinhara, Tukaram, Dizzy Red Devil. Thank you, buddy. That's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoy the show. Have a great afternoon and evening, and I will catch you later. See you on the flip flop. Later.